My fiancé and my own brother have hated me for 10 years, convinced that I bullied someone they liked. And at my engagement party, they exposed my so-called crimes for the world to see. She's just a bully. In the video live-streamed online, she smiled through tears. I don't blame her anymore. Looking back, it was like a boat sailing through 1,000 mountains. She became an overnight sensation. And I was condemned by everyone, attacked by extreme fans. In despair, I died with her. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in my senior year of high school. She stood there, pouring water over her head, and smiled at me. Have you thought about how you'll apologize? I snapped. I grabbed her by the hair, dragged her into the bathroom, and shoved her face into the toilet. I'll teach you what real bullying is. Got a dirty mouth? Clean it up before you start tattling. My last memory from that past life was the searing pain of acid hitting my eyes. I found Carrie, protected by my brother, through my blurred vision, and grabbed a cake knife, stabbing her in the chest. Let's go to hell together. When I opened my eyes again, everything seemed unusually clear. I was stunned for a moment until I saw a much younger Carrie not far away. She wore a faded school uniform and was turning on the faucet to pour water over her head. While she did, she smiled wickedly. Do you think they'll believe me or you? It hit me suddenly. This was the day. The start of my being labeled as her bully in my past life. Seeing me standing there stunned, Carrie's smile widened. So, have you decided how you'll apologize, Missy? Ugh, new and old grudges flooded in. I rushed over, grabbed her hair, and dragged her into the bathroom. Amidst her piercing screams, I shoved her face into the toilet. You think some water drizzling on you's enough for a blame shift? I'll show you real bullying. Carrie struggled madly, her arms flailing like motors, but she couldn't break free from my grasp. Buried in filthy water, she mumbled, Clara, let go of me. I laughed out loud, mouth so filthy? Remember to clean it before tattling. Whether this was a return to the past or a post-death hallucination didn't matter. I fully lost it. In my past life, I died on the brightest day of my life. That day, I nabbed my third Best Actress award, draped in a couture gown, standing with my fiancé John, at a grand engagement party live-streamed to everyone. And then he announced to everyone, I would never marry someone who bullied classmates in high school. In disbelief, I watched Carrie emerge from the audience. Her tears welled up as she smiled, looking up. Clara, remember me? The Carrie you bullied for 10 years. You probably never thought I'd stand as an equal to you someday. But it doesn't matter, I've forgiven you. Looking back, it was like a boat sailing through 1,000 mountains. On live broadcast, she became a sensation instantly. Before I could react, a swarm of journalists organized by my brother and John surrounded me. Clara, is it true you still bully newbies on set? Heard you were spotted visiting a gynecologist. It's a dirty disease from promiscuity? An extreme fan rushed out of the crowd, throwing acid on my face. Die! The liquid splashed over. The searing pain embedded in my skin. My vision never cleared again. Fallen from grace in an instant. Coming to my senses, I let go. Watching Carrie weak and slumped on the floor. Her once innocent face now covered in filth. I couldn't help but laugh. Cry all you want, go tell the world I bullied you with this face. Go on. My voice rose sharply. Recalling the pain of acid dissolving my face, I stomped hard on her face a couple of times, then turned and left. Downstairs, my desk mate Lucy waited. P class started ages ago, what were you doing upstairs? I nonchalantly replied, oh, just bullying a new classmate. She turned to me, shocked. What? As we walked to the field, I ran into John. He wasn't in my class, but everyone knew he was my boyfriend. John's gaze slid over my face, resting vaguely behind me. Clara, why so late? By the way, heard there's a new transfer student in your class? In my past life, whenever Carrie threw dirt on me, he always asked me to apologize, to let things slide. Seemed to be on my side, but subtly confirmed I was a bully. Remembering this, I suddenly slapped him. Lucy once again shocked. John's expression didn't change. His eyes cooled briefly, but he acted unfazed. Affectionately, he bent down, brushing my cheek. What's wrong, Clara? Not feeling well? In my past life, I learned much later. When John was a kid, his mom abandoned him in an amusement park where he was taken to an orphanage for a while. There, he met a sunny, cheerful little girl. She shared her bed and gave him a candy. She was the only light in his life. That light was Carrie. And from the day she transferred in, John recognized her. He always believed Carrie's words about me bullying her and hated me deeply. But due to his status as an illegitimate child, he endured all indignities to cozy up to me, as he needed to secure his position in the family through our marriage. Thinking of this, I said, "Let's break up." His pupils shrank abruptly. Why? Give me a reason, Clara. Taking out a tissue, I wiped where he touched my cheek. Don't want to date the son of a mistress. It feels dirty, isn't that reason enough? After leaving, Lucy cautiously asked if something had possessed me. Her asking wasn't surprising. In high school, I was so openly and passionately in love with John, waiting for him every day after school to go home together, baking cookies until my hands were covered in burns, always smiling as I handed them over. My favoritism so obvious the whole world knew. But things are different now. The Clara who just started her senior year in high school is gone. Standing here now is someone who's been through hell and back. All day, Carrie didn't show up again. I know her pride is that pretty face of hers. She wouldn't just reveal it without a good reason. I waited patiently. Saturday came quickly and it was my 18th birthday. Mom and Dad had mentioned throwing a grand party to celebrate my adulthood, but something came up at work so they were going to be late. The chandelier lights were dazzling. I wore a couture dress and walked down the spiral staircase into the living room. From afar I spotted my brother Henry. He was all dressed up in a suit, wearing a cold expression, calling me over. "Clara, come here." I walked over. I pretended not to notice John's piercing eyes and Carrie looking like she was about to cry. With a sweet smile I asked, "What's up, brother? Did you get me a present or something?" Henry looked at me with a frosty gaze for a moment, then said, "Bullying classmates, insulting friends. Clara, is this what you learned from our family?" He spoke loudly enough for everyone at the party to hear. Suddenly, all eyes were on us. "What are you talking about, brother? I don't understand." I glanced at Carrie, tilting my head. Who did I insult and when did I bully anyone? I don't even know her. It's too late to deny it. You did wrong and there are consequences. With that, Henry pulled a ruler out from a nearby bookshelf. Looking at me sternly, he said, "Kneel." The grand hall was filled with guests looking for a show. What bullying? Did she really do that? Oh well, she was always spoiled. It's not surprising if she can't stand seeing others succeed. Good thing her brother is standing up for what's right. In Carrie's smug and challenging gaze, I straightened my back. Smiling, I spoke boldly. "What nonsense are you talking, brother? Anyone who knows you might recognize it's Henry, but strangers might think it's a ghost from Dynasty possessing you. I only kneel for deceased ancestors." I tilted my head, gave him a once-over, and broke into a nasty grin. "Here's the deal, you go find a building to jump off, and I'll immediately kneel and bow 3 times for you." Henry's face immediately darkened. Carrie, behind him, feigned innocence and said, "I know you don't like me, but how could you say that to your own brother?" She opened her eyes wide, letting out tears, pretending to be innocent and naive. John noticed it too, a strange dark look in his eyes. Then he spoke softly. "Clara, if you did something wrong, just apologize, that'll be enough." I widened my eyes, troubled. "Sorry, I don't understand dog talk. Can you repeat that in human language?" "Enough," Henry barked. "Clara, you're a girl. Don't you know what shame is? Who taught you to be so foul-mouthed and uncultured?" He, just like before, wouldn't listen no matter what I said. Instead, he judged me under a cloud of bias, tarnishing my name repeatedly. I smirked, mimicking his sneer. "Mom and Dad are busy, haven't had time for me. Guess who taught me? Of course it was you, my dear brother." In my previous life, I feared and adored Henry. He was older than me, always a figure of authority. When our parents were busy with work, he took charge of me. When I was wrong, a ruler would strike my palms, leaving me dinnerless. Once I brought home a stray curly-haired puppy. He refused to let the maid open the door. "It's filthy, we don't welcome such things." So I sat on the doorstep with the puppy all night. Back then I was too young to understand. I thought Henry was just being him, unable to be the loving brother like others. Until Carrie appeared. Then I realized. My brother knew how to be gentle. Just not with me. I saw him in the car with Carrie, handing her hot milk and gently saying, "Remember to have 3 meals a day." You've always got me if you need money. I saw Carrie picking up a stray cat in the rain, and him holding the umbrella for her, softly asking, "Do you want to keep it?" Carrie, drunk, would grab onto his coat and babble nonsense. He'd patiently listen, warmth in his eyes. In the past, I was trapped in the illusion of love. Confused why my brother didn't love me, why my fiancé wasn't on my side. Now I understand. I am an independent person. Living without love isn't impossible. The birthday party didn't end as planned. When I stood firm against Henry, Mom and Dad finally came home. They politely thanked the guests, seeing everyone out. Carrie tried her usual act with my mom but was quickly shut down with a smile. "Sorry, young lady, we'll handle our family matters internally. Please leave." Carrie hesitated, cast a teary look at Henry, then left. Once it was just me and Henry at home, Dad finally opened his mouth sternly. "All right, explain what's really going on here." Before Henry could speak, I cut in. A while back, a new transfer student came to school. She poured water on herself on her first day and claimed I did it. Said I bullied her. Then I found out she's the scholarship student brother's been secretly helping. Named Carrie. Henry, seated on the sofa, snapped his head toward me, shock filling his eyes. "Surprised, brother? You didn't think I'd find out about your little affair with her so soon, did you?" I dabbed at my burning eyes, my voice cracking. Honestly, I wasn't mad at her. It was just a birthday thing. No big deal. I was just upset that my brother didn't believe me. Carrie's not the only one who knows how to pretend. In my teary voice, my dad made the final call. "All right, no matter who bullied who, stop making a fuss. If this gets out, it won't be good for either of you. Let's put an end to it." Back at school, I openly started bullying Carrie. I poured ink in her desk drawer, laughed loudly when she read with her accented English, tore up her physics test and threw the pieces over her head. "Go on, keep tattling." I laughed and said, "Isn't that what you're best at?" A piece of paper fluttered down from her hair. She looked at me, a deep hatred flashing in her eyes. But in the end, she just shook and cried, apologizing. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I made you upset in any way, I apologize now. Will it be okay if I change? You existing makes me unhappy." I raised my eyebrow curiously. "How are you gonna fix that? Gonna die now?" She was dumbstruck, couldn't say a word. In the end, just cried some more. That was the first time I realized being a mean girl felt so good. Of course, she went and told the teacher. The teacher called me to the office. I cried as I told the story of the birthday dinner, and then pulled out a hospital letter. Because of her rumors, my brother humiliated me in front of everyone. I cry every time I remember it, even wake up from nightmares. I'm still seeing a therapist, taking meds. They say I'm severely depressed. In the end, the teacher had to comfort me. It was clear to everyone I didn't like Carrie. Lucy didn't get it. "Why are you so against her? Did she do something bad?" I tilted my head and smiled at her. "Can't I just be a bad girl who doesn't like the poor new girl 'cause she's rich?" "Oh please." She rolled her eyes at me. "If you're that kind of person, why don't you bully me? My family's poorer than hers. On the first day we became friends, you bought me all the school supplies for 3 years. I'd sooner believe I'm the Queen of England than believe you bully classmates. I get it. Yeah, everyone gets it. Except my brother and the guy I like." I curled my lips, but there wasn't a smile in my eyes. A month later was the school's 100-year celebration. In my previous life, Carrie performed a piano solo at the celebration, thanks to Henry and John's arrangements. And she caught the eye of the special admissions teacher, earning the only special spot. And me? I'd been dancing since age 4, trained for over 10 years, and prepared a classical dance. Then John found me. Under the setting sun on campus, he hugged me and said softly, "Can you not perform? Clara, I don't want so many people seeing how beautiful you are. I'll get jealous. Just dance for me, okay?" I was a fool then, pleased that my performance mattered to him. So on the day of the performance, I really didn't go. I danced again and again in the empty dance studio just for him. When it ended, the distant cheering from the auditorium was thunderous. John heard it and he suddenly smiled. He was always so gentle and quiet in front of me. Even his smile was soft, like behind a layer of mist. It was the first time I saw such a clear emotion from him. I stopped dancing, foolishly asking, "Are you happy?" He paused, "Happy. Back then I thought he was happy because I danced for him alone. It wasn't until much later I learned. He was happy because Carrie's performance was a huge success. The light of his life had a bright future. I put my dance proposal back. But this time it wasn't a solo. I pulled every girl interested in performing into a group classical dance. I paid for a teacher, bought the best costumes, and got the best props. In comparison, Carrie's simple white dress piano solo seemed plain. I don't know what she complained about to Henry. That night, he stopped me in the garden as I was going home from school. "Clara." My brother looked at me blankly. "Drop your performance for the school celebration." I chuckled. "Henry, what are you even saying? Don't think I'm asking." Henry's eyes showed a cold mockery. "If you insist on going, deal with the consequences." I stopped, stared into his icy eyes. "Your precious girl has been playing piano for over 10 years, and can't face me in competition? What a loser." With just days left till the celebration, John found me. "Clara, last time was my fault, but you blocked me everywhere, won't see me." "I don't know what happened, Clara. Did you misunderstand or fall for someone else?" When he said that, his voice had a hint of pain. "But you promised you'd always love me the most." A wave of anger mixed with sharp pain surged in my heart. I had genuinely loved him for so many years. He said he didn't like me doing kiss scenes, so I gave up huge director offers. He said Carrie had a tough start, bullied in the orphanage, and I should cut her some slack. So I forgave her time and time again. I just wanted my sincerity repaid with sincerity. But in return, I only got their slander and hatred that went on for 10 years. At that moment, I didn't even want to put on a facade anymore. I grabbed John by the collar and shoved him hard against the tree behind him. He gasped in pain, didn't even get a chance to say anything before I slapped him across the face. I didn't hold back at all. His pale face turned red and swollen instantly. I leaned in close and said word by word, "You and Carrie have known each other for a long time. I know that now. You like her, so why pretend to be all lovey-dovey with me? Trying to string me along while you're off being her lapdog? You're just as low as your mother, the mistress." As I finished the last word, his eyes filled with a storm of emotions, yet he couldn't say a thing. I snickered, let him go, and walked away. That night I had a rare dream. I dreamt of my past life and what happened after I died. After the cake knife was plunged into Carrie's chest, I died in extreme pain. She was rushed to the hospital. Outside the hospital room, John grabbed Henry and questioned, "You said you'd handle everything, you'd protect her." Henry brushed his hand away, saying coldly, "I agreed to share her with you. Without my help, could a bastard like you control the family? Don't push your limits." John staggered a few steps, retorting, "Was it you helping me?" Clearly, he stopped abruptly. Henry sneered, "Yeah, my sister helped you, but she's dead now. You're forgetting you were the one who found and hired the person who threw acid on her, remember?" John stood silent. The emergency room light was flashing. Moments later, Carrie was wheeled out. The doctor said, "The patient is still in critical condition." John's eyes trembled as they skimmed over her pale face. Then he calmly said, "I haven't forgotten. I've never regretted it." I woke up, stumbled into the bathroom, and dry heaved over the toilet for a long time. When I straightened up, I looked in the mirror. My bloodshot eyes were filled with hatred. "Never regretted it," I mumbled. "Well, this life you will. You'll regret ever being born. Just wait and see." On the day of the school anniversary performance, I ran into Carrie by the artificial lake. She was wearing an understated but luxurious silver gown and an expensive diamond necklace around her neck. I knew it was probably a gift from Henry to console her. "Clara, you think being a rich girl can protect you forever? You've bullied me for so long, you really think I won't hit back? You'll pay 1,000 times over. So what if you know about John and me? He loves me. Your brother loves only me. A person like you will never be loved by anyone." She said a lot, and I just smiled and replied, "How does the toilet water taste?" Then, watching her face change drastically, I turned and left. By evening, the fiery sunset stretched across the horizon. My dance team and I changed into our performance outfits and hurried to backstage, holding up our skirts. Halfway, I realized I'd forgotten the prop for the finale. Did I leave it in the dance room? I thought back carefully and decided to return for it. Lucy asked, "Want me to go with you?" Nah, I smiled. "It's not heavy. I can manage. You guys go ahead and do the makeup backstage. Get the prop order from the set teacher." The large building was empty. With my golden dress, I went up the stairs, stopping just before the dance room floor. Someone was a few steps away on the stairs. The golden-red sunset streamed in, lighting up just half his face, leaving the other half in shadows. "John." He spoke lowly, voice holding back a storm. "Clara, what are you doing?" "None of your business." I tried to move past him, heading upstairs. Suddenly, I felt a powerful force on my shoulder. My mind froze for a second. When I came to, my body went weightless, falling backward. Behind me were dozens of high steps. Hitting my back on the ground, I rolled down the stairs hard. Among the overwhelming pain, I landed by the iron railing, feeling a slight crack in my ankle bone. John walked down slowly, stopping beside me. He still looked at me with those calm and sad eyes. But when he spoke, his voice was cold. "Clara, don't blame me. You've had everything since birth. There are many paths for you, even if you miss this chance. Carrie's not like you. She's already doing her best within her limits." He then grabbed my sprained ankle, slamming my leg hard into the iron railing. My mind flashed back to the dream, standing outside the hospital room with my brother, staring lovingly at Carrie being wheeled out. Speaking about me with indifference, I've never regretted it. The best 15 years of my life. The strongest, most sincere love. Tied to someone like him. I suddenly laughed. Just before he could smash my leg into the railing, I yanked myself free. Pathetic. My sprained ankle throbbed painfully. But I took the chance before John could react, grabbing his hair and slamming it into the railing. "Think you can hurt me again? In your dreams." John's head hit the iron railing with a loud thud. Blood poured from his forehead and ran down his face onto his clothes. Panting, I let go of his hair and pushed myself up. The pain in my twisted ankle kept coming, but it didn't matter. I lowered my eyes, looking at his unfocused, pained gaze, and slowly started to laugh. "So passionate, my little prince. Sacrificing yourself just to bring me down, all to win her a future? This is Henry's warning, isn't it? You guys already plan to share her at this moment? Utterly disgusting." I lifted the hem of my dress, wiping the blood off his face until the light fabric was stained all over. I left him there and ran into the grand hall as the sky darkened. In the distance, the elegant sound of a piano played in the hall. Carrie was playing the same piece from my past life. She sat in front of a pure white piano, wearing a silver dress. The stage was dark all around her, except for a single spotlight, like a bright star in the night. Just like in my past life during my engagement party, climbing over my blood and flesh, she was dazzlingly beautiful. I ran down the narrow aisle between rows of seats, pushing past security and the host who tried to stop me, and jumped onto the stage. Standing in the only beam of light, I kicked Carrie off her stool and punched the piano. As she stared at me in disbelief, I went mad. "Play, play, play, I dare you to play. You dare send him to hurt me, and you're still here playing?" Of course I knew. The teacher from the special admissions were invited by Henry, sitting in the audience. In my past life, after listening to Carrie's piece, the teacher contacted her after the performance, asking if she wanted the only special admission slot. Carrie agreed, marking the first step in her bright future. Later, under Henry's meticulous planning, she was taken in as a closed-door disciple by a prestigious master in the music world. I had been cast in a movie as a genius pianist with autism, so my agent arranged for me to learn from the same master. But after a brief meeting with Carrie, I went home that night to find Henry waiting. He looked at me with disgust. "Clara, are you ever going to stop? Just because you come up short compared to Carrie, you hate her so much? Enough to rip up the sheet music she gave to the teacher? You're truly rotten." I was stunned for a few seconds, tried to defend myself, only to be cut off by him. "Lies. I'm not going to believe a word you say." Among the outcry from the audience, I heard someone scream, "Blood, look at her dress, it's covered in blood." Blood mixed with dirt on my tattered dress, disheveled hair, and my swollen ankle, all details proving my story true. Carrie clutched the piano bench, struggling to her feet. Her eyes flashed with deep resentment and hatred but quickly reverted to her usual innocence. "Classmate, I don't know what you're talking about. This might be a misunderstanding. But this is my performance, and it's disrespectful to the audience to rush on stage like this." Henry stood angrily from his seat, loudly condemning me. "Clara, you've lost your mind. Ignoring him, I shoved Carrie aside and sat down at the piano to play my piece. In my past life, I learned it solidly over 3 months to play it in the movie, preferring not to mimic the hand movements. Though not perfect, it sufficed for this scene. The powerful piano notes, accompanied by a faint electric hum, echoed through the vast domed hall. After finishing, I turned to her defiantly. You ruined my birthday party, drove a wedge between me and my brother, spread lies about me among family and friends. These are small issues I'll repay in my way. But having John push me down the stairs to break my leg, just to keep me off stage? I paused, eyeing her suddenly pale face, and sneered. Piano, your pride and joy, yet you lack even the confidence to compete fairly against me? Chaos ensued on stage and off stage. Eventually, the teacher in charge of the school anniversary performance led Carrie and me off stage, as the host tried to smooth things over. The next program was our group classical dance. Backstage, I passed by the girls involved in the performance. Lucy, tears streaming, rushed to me, grabbing my hand. Are you hurt? I should have gone with you. I'm fine. I smiled, patting her head to comfort her. Go put on a great show. We've rehearsed for so long. Give it your best. The first place in the school anniversary performance could win a $10,000 prize. This dance was never choreographed for myself. I watched them head to the stage, a weight lifted off my shoulders. Then, succumbing to the intense pain and exhaustion, I closed my eyes, my consciousness slipping into darkness. I woke up in the hospital. That night, Henry burst into my room. You're a lunatic, Clara. Just plain crazy. He wanted to play by the plan, step by step, sending the one he cherished into the limelight. Like carefully nurturing a flower to bloom. Immensely satisfying. But how could I give you that chance, brother? What now, Henry? She didn't finish playing, and the stair incident is public. She won't make it to the school she wanted. Then I suddenly remembered. Oh right. Your accomplice John is still lying on the floor of the comprehensive building. If you have time, remember to take him to the hospital. I laughed, clutching the bedspread. Pulling at my ankle wound, my features twisted in pain. Looking in his eyes, I saw my own reflection now. Looked deranged. Maybe I had gone mad the day I died in my past life. Henry's face twitched slightly. Rage flickered in his eyes but vanished. He reverted to his usual indifference and loftiness. What good does it do, Clara? Even if Carrie's performance failed, you didn't get to dance either. Not to mention your lunatic outburst was entirely recorded by the camera nearby. This time you can't just wave around a fake doctor's note and get away with it. The school has already talked to Mom and Dad, and they're thinking about kicking you out. Ha ha ha. I laugh. Suspension, ou? Do I care about that? Don't forget, Henry, I'm just like you. Like John said, even if this road closes, I've got plenty more to take. My goal from the start was just one thing, to bring Carrie down. That's it. The stuff she accused me of in our past life? I'm just making it all come true. The path she took before, I'll make sure to block them all. We still have unfinished business, Carrie. I made a scene at the school celebration, hit John and Carrie too. The bullying I did to Carrie in school? It went viral. Caused quite the online stir. Rich girl versus poor girl? That's always juicy whether it's 10 years ago or 10 years from now. But this time, because I spoke so clearly, looking a mess with that furious chaotic melody playing, some people took my side. Maybe it's not just rich girl bullying poor girl, huh? She doesn't sound like that kind of person. Ha, are you a troll? Using music to tell fortunes? Not to mention, look at her, her ankle's swollen like a bread roll, she's bleeding all over. Who bullies people and ends up like that? Forget about anything else. This chick's got a mental state ahead of its time. Way ahead. Finally, Lucy and the girls I danced with were sparring with people online. Clara's not what you're saying she is. Carrie started with her. It got pretty heated online. I don't even know what Henry told our dad while I was in the hospital. By the time I got discharged, the vibe at home was icy from Dad. I stopped keeping an eye on you for a bit and you go wild. Since the school won't have you back, you'll go study abroad. Lay low for a few years, let things cool down before you come back. His attitude didn't shock me. Between me and his son Henry, he's always gonna side with his son first. When that thing happened at our engagement party in the past life, he was still alive. There's no way Henry could pull something so big without him knowing. But he never told me a thing until I died. Whatever. I just shrugged. Fine. You've always wanted to study acting. I'll get in touch with some people, get you into a school for the arts. No. I suddenly spoke up. I want to study finance, go into business school. Both of their jaws practically dropped. My dad looked at me, slowly starting to understand something deeper. I got into my school fast. John's injuries were way worse than mine. Even after I healed, he was still in the hospital. I heard Carrie visited him, told him it wasn't his fault, said I was too ruthless. Lucy brought a huge bunch of lilies to see me. They wanted to break your leg. Who's the ruthless one here, huh? She walked in carefully with the bouquet. These aren't cheap. The prize was for you guys. That's cool. They heard you're going abroad. Everyone pitched in, told me to buy them for you. She stuffed the flowers into my hand, took a deep breath, like she wanted to say something kinda big. Clara. Yeah. I always felt like you knew something I didn't. Right after Carrie transferred over, something changed. I just can't put my finger on it. If you don't get it, never mind me rambling. She dodged the flowers, carefully gave me a hug. Come back soon. When you're back, we'll still be friends. The night before leaving, I was sitting with Mom on the balcony, wind breezing past. She kept almost saying something but didn't. I took her hand, looked her in the eye. Mom, don't worry about me. In my last life, my mom died in a car crash. With her around, no matter how biased, Dad would never let Henry go after me directly. My heart suddenly skipped. Back then, Henry was nuts for Carrie. Was my mom's crash not an accident? At the thought, panic sort of gripped me and I tightened my hold on her hand. Be extra careful, keep safe. After a pause, I just blurted out, watch out for Henry. Clara, something's different about you. Mom looked at me a bit dazed, sighed. That's on me. Before, you were kinda gullible, believed anything anyone said. Told you that kid was not to be trusted, you'd fight me on it, said he wasn't like that. Your birthday, I wanted to ask your dad for shares, you shut me down, said jewelry and dresses were fine. Drove me nuts. Back then I wished you were smarter, sharper. But if it took something painful to change you, I'd rather you stay naive. What mom doesn't know their kid, right? I was naive in my last life, always wanted to see the good in people. That's why Carrie tricked me so many times. I never really went all out against her. That's why I died at my own engagement. No way, Mom. I rubbed my eyes a bit and let out a small laugh. In this world of dog eat dog, only the naive get eaten. Sadly, I had to die once to get it right. The year I dragged my suitcase overseas, I was 18. Everything around was new and foreign. But I didn't feel scared at all. I knew too much about future events. The details weren't clear, but the big turning points gave me plenty of room to work with. Most crucial, 2 years from now, when I was 20, Henry got wind of something. Flew to San Francisco to partner up with a guy named Mike. This guy had cutting-edge tech. In 5 years' time, it helped Henry take over the company bit by bit. I took the money Mom gave me, threw it into stocks, and with a bit of foggy memory from before, doubled the starting funds like crazy. So at school, I spent double the time on courses and used the money to invest in a few companies that would become Fortune 500 in my past life. Most of them were still in their early stages. During this time, Lucy contacted me a lot. Every week, like clockwork, she'd leave me a voice message. She'd tell me how the dance team missed me after I left. She'd also say that ever since she got her share of the bonus, life got much better. A while ago, a university had independent enrollment. Carrie applied but got rejected in the interview. It was so funny because the teacher who did the interview was at our school celebration show. Lucy said Carrie's performance was muddy and couldn't compare to mine. If only you knew how much Carrie sobbed hugging John when she came out, while I was grinning ear to ear. When the college entrance exam results came out, I was first in my school and third in the city. I was stressed out with dual degree finals when I got the news, but I still gave a genuine smile. Congratulations. Clara, I'm still waiting for you to come back and be friends with me again. My mom also called often, updating me on Henry's recent happenings and checking if I was doing okay on my own, if I had enough money. Then I'd share a bit about my current situation, and she'd sigh in this relieved yet helpless way. You're still just a girl, don't push yourself too hard. She'd say, let me know if you need help, don't feel shy. So I gave her Mike's name and other details I could remember, asking her to look into someone for me. But she absolutely, positively couldn't let my brother know. I got to San Francisco a month ahead of Henry. While looking for directions outside the school, I suddenly spotted a familiar face on the grass not far away. a few years younger looking Mike. In front of him stood a tall, short-haired girl with glasses, glaring at him. That was my research result. Who gave you permission to take it for business talks without asking? Mike chuckled awkwardly. What's yours and mine anyways? Didn't we create it together? The idea was mine, the experiments were mine, you just helped out for a bit recording some data. What makes you think you have the right to handle my stuff? The girl wasn't backing down. Hearing this, Mike's expression darkened. Linda, don't push it. We're about to graduate, aren't I considering our future? What's the point of clutching onto it? Isn't partnering with a reliable company the best way to maximize benefits? I'm telling you it's mine. The girl named Linda coldly stared at him. The patent's with me, you don't even know the core technology. How are you gonna partner up? As long as I'm alive, not happening. Also, we're done. From now on, we don't exist to each other. She turned and walked away. Mike stood there, eyeing her back, and his gaze chilled, a flash of icy hostility in his eyes. I stood there and a revelation hit me. In my past life, I'd overheard Carrie asking Henry how he kept someone like Mike around. Back then, Henry just laughed by the pool, saying Mike needed his help more importantly. In my last life, I never heard of anyone named Linda. I found a way to meet with Linda. In a cafe far from her school, she sat across from me. Straight to the point. Clara, I know why you're here, but I'm not selling. Why not? She hesitated a bit, then began. Right now it's just a prototype. Lifting my cup to drink, I paused. I know business people care about commercial value, but I don't. What matters to me is the ultimate outcome and how it can revolutionize technology for humanity. To me, it's the thing itself that's important. I watched her closely. When she talked about her dreams, her bare face radiated an indescribable brilliance. She was such a dazzling young woman destined to be a magnificent scientist remembered in history. But in my past life, because of two men's greed, she died in a foreign land, forgotten like dust in the wheels of history. Clara, if that's all, I'll get going. I suddenly reached out to stop her. Looking at her sincerely, Linda, I'm willing to provide all necessary funds and resources for your research. All I ask is a little help from you after you get a final product. Your achievement would still belong to you, you'd be credited in history, how about it? When I got back home, the first snow had covered everything. Carrying my suitcase out of the airport, the first thing I saw was the ad board next door. Carrie's perfectly made-up face was plastered all over it. In the years that I was abroad building my company to rival Henry, he wasn't idle either. Even though Carrie didn't get the special admission, and the interview flopped, he still managed to get her into film school, and she debuted in the entertainment industry. She sure stayed true to herself. I chuckled sarcastically, getting into the car. As it drove through the snow-dusted traffic, it went straight to the company building. 3 days later at the bidding event, another crucial point came. Linda and I worked tirelessly for 3 days in the company, ensuring the proposal was at its best. And at the open bidding event, we snagged the deal without a hitch. When they announced the winning company, I stood up, meeting Henry's shocked gaze. You, Clara. I just curled my lips. Long time no see, brother. When it ended, he followed me out, blocking me in the hallway. Still incredulous. Your company? Did you hide Linda after she went missing? You're really in a hurry, Henry. I burst out laughing. What do you mean I hid her? You barely know her. Why are you so obsessed with finding her? Are you trying to do something illegal? I left laughing, seeing his sharp glare. This time back home I was all out, networking after securing a contract. I met quite a few famous business figures. With Linda's exclusive patent rights and having snatched a big project from Henry, everyone was really nice to me. Super friendly. It's something I never felt before. Even when I won Best Actress 3 times in my last life. People really do need to have control over the means of production. I raised my wine glass and had a moment. Lucy beside me turned her head, checking me out. You've only been away 4 years, but it's like you matured 10 years. Well, it makes sense. At 18 you could afford to be reckless because you were young. I said, I'm a college graduate now. Before you show your fangs, you have to put on a facade of decency. Then I held up a paddle and bid. 2 million. Carrie, seated in the front row, snapped her head over. Sitting next to her, John also looked at me. When our eyes met, he looked a bit dazed. I noticed a faint scar on his forehead. Found it quite amusing. 2,600,000. Coming back to his senses, he quickly raised his paddle and started bidding against me. I knew he was trying to buy that diamond bracelet as a gift for Carrie. Her birthday was coming up. Even though he struggled to gain some say in the company, he wasn't anywhere near as dominant as Henry. To win her over, he had to find other ways. I kept bidding, watching him finally win the bracelet for $6 million. Such deep feelings. John, holding the bracelet, silently looked at me. After a moment, he softly said, "Clara. Oh please, that's nauseating." I exaggeratedly took a step back, sizing him up. Then I scoffed. "You've done better than your mom. At least you succeeded climbing up. But I wonder how you and my brother arrange your schedules. You three share time slots?" I didn't hold back when I said this. Sure enough, after the auction, business acquaintances came asking me about the deal. I put on a troubled face. My brother and John are both into the same minor celebrity. Come on, everyone's had a love-struck fool in their life. For true love, they endure everything. Beyond that gossip, I put money into the film industry, launching new female stars. I stole several key roles from Carrie that she had in her past life. Henry couldn't stand seeing his love suffer outside and immediately lashed out at me. That was precisely what I was waiting for. Without taking action, how else would he slip up? Suddenly, my name was trending with the company. Founder Clara, school bully. Clara spreading rumors. Carrie bullied. Back in the day, during a school celebration, a video of me throwing a piano at Carrie resurfaced. Although this time they edited out my part playing after. Moreover, they contacted old classmates to prove I had bullied Carrie. Yeah, Clara never liked Carrie, tore up her test papers, poured ink in her desk, and led all the girls to isolate her. The guy in the video looked angry. But since she was a rich girl, Carrie couldn't do anything to her and had to bear all the grievances. When things blew up, the school expelled her, and she went abroad to study instead. Now she's back, all transformed as a young promising company founder. The company's stock plunged for days. Various partners called, subtly inquiring about the situation. I knew if I didn't give them a satisfactory reply, the collaborations would stop. Please just wait a little. I spun the pen in my hand, smiling as I chatted with them. We're all business people. We know not to act unless we're sure about the outcome. Luckily, Carrie wasn't as patient as I expected. She hated me more now than in her past life, and seeing my bad reputation, she jumped at the chance. In a live stream, she spoke about the issue. I remember when the teacher asked me to read a passage. Because I attended a village school, one teacher taught many subjects, and we had no proper English classes. It was embarrassing, she laughed, realizing my pronunciation had been wrong. I had prepared for that school performance for a long time, after learning piano for years. She gave this calm impression, but tears welled up in her eyes eventually. Comments, whether spectators or Henry's henchmen, flooded in. You're not embarrassing at all, you did amazing. She's shameless. Who does she think she is, mocking a hard-working commoner? Am I the only one who noticed the contradiction? She said the village school taught so many subjects there was no English, yet she learned piano for years? Reading that last comment, I couldn't help but laugh. But it was quickly lost in the sea of words. That live stream hit over 500,000 viewers. The next day, my dad called me home, sternly ordering me to merge the company. After 4 years abroad, you've learned nothing. It's only been a few days back and look at the mess. Hand the company back to the family and apologize publicly. I silently looked at him. Dad, get this straight. It's my brother's girlfriend causing issues, not my company having problems. Well, you bullied her first. He slammed the table, glaring at me. If you don't comply, I'll disown you. I smiled and said, sorry, but you didn't give birth to me. My mom carried and gave birth to me. Soon after, the two families announced a collaboration. 2 companies teamed up against me and stole several big projects from my company. My dad publicly disowned me, calling me a wicked daughter. In the company's parking lot, I was almost attacked with acid by an extreme fan of Carrie. He even plotted with my dad, using my high school breakdown and a diagnosis certificate to try and get me committed to a mental hospital. It's always the same dirty tactics, past and present. Well, my counterattack is about to begin. Brother. It seemed like I was losing, unable to fight back. Right then, Carrie won her first Best Actress award and her birthday was coming up. Henry threw a grand party for her. The venue was lavishly decorated, with tons of fans invited, and there was even a live stream. Carrie wore a white cocktail dress, softly thanking her fans. The next part of the event was to show some fan-made tribute videos. Suddenly, on the big screen behind her, a candid, blurry, and sneaky video played. In a makeup room on the set, another actress was touching up her makeup when Carrie suddenly bumped into her. Carrie grabbed the actress's hand and slapped her own face with it. Then she smiled at the shocked actress. "Who said you could compete for the role I wanted? How dare you make me your sidekick? Do you know who my boyfriend is? E.O. Henry. When my boyfriend sees this bruise on my face, have you thought about how to apologize? No, you better worry about how to earn a living after being blacklisted for bullying me on set." The last shot showed her staring at the actress's chest with a knowing smile. "No." Carrie screamed and jumped to block the screen, but it was too late. The fans were already in a frenzy. Amidst the chaos, Carrie and Henry's names shot up the trending list. "Carrie, my boyfriend is Henry." "Carrie birthday livestream." "Carrie bullied again." Comments were skyrocketing. Lucy sat beside me, typing away on her phone. "Carrie, why do you seem to get bullied everywhere you go? Is the whole world against you?" Her comment quickly became the top-liked one. "Oh my God. She hit herself with someone else's hand. No wonder her face was swollen." Well, without the swelling, how else would she prove she was bullied? Let's not call her Carrie anymore. If I remember right, wasn't the lead role in the movie for which she won the Best Actress originally meant for someone else? Some scandalous photos of that other actress were leaked, and she got sidelined. Can't land a role through audition, so it's all about false accusations and fake scandals, right? Amidst the discussions, another video went viral. It was recorded at a foreign university, full of students with various hair and eye colors. They burst out laughing after a Chinese student spoke, mocking her non-standard pronunciation. A skinny blonde guy leading the taunts read a line with exaggerated accuracy. "Know what this is? This is proper British pronunciation, joker." Then I grabbed his shirt collar and punched him in the face. Retorted with a flawless accent. "Laugh, laugh, laugh. What's so funny? Do you laugh like this at your dad's funeral too?" He jumped up in rage, challenging me to a fight. I responded with another punch. With my shoe tip at his chin, I smirked. "Know what this is? This is Chinese Kung Fu mutt." The video was posted by an ordinary international student. I was born in the mountains, almost thrown into the stove by my grandma. But unlike Miss Carrie, we didn't have pianos in our village, nor a benefactor giving us thousands a month. Just me, who took nearly 30 years to muster the courage to step outside, only to be mocked on the first day of study abroad. I can't stand someone twisting the truth. Can't bear to see those who helped me being slandered. Comments poured in. Am I seeing things? Or is this the Clara who was accused by Carrie of bullying and laughing at her English? Finally, someone says it. Whose kids in the countryside learned piano for 10 years? There's no consistency in her story, yet so many believe it. Sister is awesome. A benefactor? Isn't Carrie's benefactor Henry, Clara's brother? Who knows, maybe he's trying to slander to fight for inheritance. Then a video from my 18th birthday appeared. Footage showing Carrie jumping off a rooftop for financial aid, falsely accusing another orphanage girl of pushing her. Evidence of Henry hiring hitmen, not just for the attempted murder of Linda, but for countless shady dealings he did with my dad to expand the company and grab projects. I owe getting these materials to my mom. Lastly, there was John. He had been psychologically abusing his own birth mother for 7 years, driving her to suicide in front of his father, using his mom's life to secure his entry into the family. I spent mountains of cash to gather and connect all this from past life traces and brought them to the spotlight. Thanks to their earlier antics, countless eyes were already on this feud. Touching on illegal activities, it exploded into widespread chaos instantly. Onlookers couldn't notify the police fast enough. There was no room for them to suppress the situation. Those who manipulate public opinion will ultimately fall victim to it. Are you even satisfied with this ending? The day my dad and Henry were detained by police, my mom handed over divorce papers. Henry, disbelief twisting his face, shouted at her. "Mom, aren't I your son? Why do you favor Clara? I'm your child too. Your dad favors you, I favor your sister." My mom sighed softly as she sat down in front of him, sipping her tea. Things are fair in this world, aren't they? The projects snatched from me by the two companies were falling apart one after another, adding another charge for financial crimes to their names. I took over the weekend company and merged it into mine. Then I met up with Lily, who regained control of her company. She's John's half-sister. Her parents had a business marriage. When I was a kid, I really hated that woman. I thought she ruined my family. Later on, I realized that if my dad hadn't cheated, John wouldn't even exist. She picked up her coffee cup. Getting killed by her own son was kind of her karma. I got in touch with her a year ago for a deal. I'd help her kick John out and take full control. In return, she needed to help me with some connections back home, like with the trending hot topics online. A lot of that was Lily's work. By the way, I'm curious, how did you guess that his mom's suicide was connected to him? I just smiled and kept quiet, because in my past life he did the same to me. Before the verdict, I made a point to visit some old friends in jail. First one I saw was my brother. He just glared at me. I smirked. Don't look at me like that, brother. I know what you're wondering. Being thrown out like a stray dog, I went through that already. Did you think I spent these past few years just partying and living it up overseas? During the toughest times, I barely caught any sleep. Besides school and company stuff, I was busy networking and digging up evidence of these three crimes from my past life's clues. Their methods were so slick and unforgiving. I bet it wasn't their first gig. Bad people aren't just evil in front of me. There must be more darkness where I can't see. And I was right. Henry, Dad always said I wasn't like his daughter. He taught you to be a ruthless bully, using any means, legal or not. Lucky for me, I'm nothing like him. My second visit was to Carrie. She looked a mess, eyes full of hate through the glass. She couldn't fake innocence anymore, and yelled why I didn't reveal the evidence sooner when I had it. Isn't playing weak fun? Of course it is. Otherwise, why'd you keep up your act for so long? I stood up. It's definitely more fun to let you think you've won, isn't it? Sure, I could have exposed everything earlier. But where's the fun in that? Let her believe she had it all, only to watch it all crumble right before dawn. I've been there in my past life. Now it's your turn. The last person I visited was John. I wasn't planning on seeing him. Carrie and I were always enemies, and Henry's my blood. But John was different. Once my love for him faded, he was nothing to me. But the police told me John wanted to see me. So there I was, facing him through the glass. He stared at me for a while, until I got fed up and stood up. What do you want? This wasn't how it should be, he finally said. The company should be mine and we should be engaged. I paused, turned around. He stared back with eyes as mysterious as ever. For a moment, if it weren't for the faint scar on his forehead, I would have thought he was the John from my past life. Then I snapped back, finding it absurd and laughable. Just engaged? How about what comes after? You were with me to get the company, then teamed up with Henry to kill me. But after a long time I regretted it, he croaked. You just didn't know. I really wish you'd know. Too absurd. Too funny. Yeah, I was dead. Of course I didn't know. I leaned on the glass looking at him, spelling it out. But even if I knew, who cares about your regrets? This time I'm the winner, and you're the one going to hell. John, you deserve this. That winter came early. When I left, it was already dark outside. Linda called, saying she's heading abroad after the new year for a new experiment at the lab. I wished her all the best. Hung up and saw a text from Lucy. She said she was at the hot pot place, waiting for me to settle the bill. I laughed and texted back, okay. Through the car window, a crescent moon hung high, lighting up part of the inky sky. Once this night passes, the moon will set, and my sun will rise again. The Inn.